Hey, what's going on, everybody? So last week I did a video talking about my concerns for Shikimori Isn't Just a Cutie. It was sort of a not standard video that I do, because generally I like to take these videos and post them after watching the first 3 episodes of a show, which is why this series is called Third Episode Thoughts. But I had some pretty pronounced concerns about this show by episode 2. And, well, I kind of laid out what I thought episode 3 could potentially do to fix it, but also the fact that I'm not holding out much hope for it. And, well, we're on episode 3, and this is my third episode thoughts on Shikimori Isn't Just a Cutie. So if you want to check out my first video on this show, you can check it out right over there. But in general, to just sort of summarize what I said, I was concerned that the characters didn't really have a lot of substance. They felt kind of hollow. And I also felt that the clumsiness of the main character and the overpowered badassery of the other main character didn't have any background, and the most that we got hints-wise was from the opening of the show. But we are now 3 episodes in, and aside from a little hint in this third episode as to the fact that Izumi's mother, who everybody is fawning over on the internet, is also clumsy, and that his dad is a very Shikimori type. Aside from those 2 hints in this episode, and a little bit of backstory as to him being clumsy as a kid, we don't know why. Period. And we still have no clue why Shikimori is a straight up, I want to say Mary Sue. I'm going to say that. I don't know if that's something that's offensive to people or not, but it's a term. It's a term for a character in a movie or show where their abilities, at least to the viewer, are gained by means. Well, they're not really gained. They just have those means. I'll put the definition of Mary Sue up on the screen here. That's kind of where it comes from. But those were my concerns, and the fact that each story didn't really feel like it had substance. Each character didn't feel like it had substance, and the events that happen in the episode really feel like they just exist to play on the character's flaws as opposed to the character's flaws influencing what happens next in the story. And honestly, I went back and watched the last 2 episodes before making this video and before watching the 3rd episode, because I genuinely couldn't remember what happened in the 1st episode. And the 2nd episode was a little fuzzy, and it's only been 2 weeks. I could break down some of the most iconic moments of shows by their 1st and 2nd episodes from 10 years ago if they really made an impact. And this show is 3 weeks old, and I already forgot what the 1st episode was about and had to go and rewatch it. That's kind of how hollow this feels. And I mentioned in my last video that they kind of make it seem like Shikimori is best girl and is carrying the whole show, but she is hard carrying this show, and it kind of sucks because I really like the idea of this role reversal of a badass girl protecting the guy and the guy being cursed with bad luck or something like that, but we don't even know if it's a curse. We don't know why she's a badass. Everything's just kind of hollow. I'm kind of repeating myself here because it's just, that's really what's pushing me away from the show, is that there is no substance to the conflict, and the conflict exists just to show off the traits of the characters. It's weird. And not just that, but the episodes themselves just don't feel like they have a lot of substance in general. I keep using that word substance, but like the characters feel like they don't have substance because they are one character trait and that's it. And there are moments where I see kind of some things that Shikimori does, and I'm like, you're not a tsundere, you're not a yandere, you're kind of overprotective, but not to the murderous extent, but also, like, you just kind of go with the flow. And then I look at Izumi, and I'm like, you're a clumsy character, obviously, but you're clumsy to the point of, like, genuine concern, and nobody even cares at this point. In fact, his mom in the episode says, I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up one morning and there's just a giant hole in our house. Like, what? And that's the most we get for the characters. In terms of the situations, they basically just exist for, at least in my case, me as the viewer to go, oh, come on. Really? That's it? Yeah, that kind of stuff. And when I say the episodes or the stories within the episodes sort of lack substance, again, I forgot what episode 1 and 2 were about until rewatching them, And essentially episodes 1 and 2 are couple get into the same classroom at school, school begins, and then episode 2 is sports festival, and that's it. Those are the first 2 episodes. Episode 3 is they went to the movies. Oh, and also she met Izumi's parents. I don't want this video to be super short and sound like I'm just bashing on it, because there are a few good things about this show. Primarily things like the sound design. I love the background music. The voice acting is great. The art style is surprisingly interesting, and not just in the sense that, you know, every dude on the internet is simping over Shikimori, but like the eye design is really unique. I'm always a sucker for really unique eye design. I love the eye design in Steins Gate. I loved the eye design in shows like Soul Eater and Fire Force, which, funnily enough, are written by the same writer, so her design is fantastic. The eye design in this is super unique, and the way they kind of show like excitement with the like little sparkles in the eyes, that's really cool. There are good things about this show that had a lot of potential, and I really wanted to sort of dive into a role reversal in terms of the relationship of like hero and damsel, but flipped. I figured it'd be kind of an interesting story. The problem is there are better ways to role reverse than just having the dude be a hapless dolt falling over himself and getting hurt to the point of literally not believing it. Like, when I say unbelievable bad luck, like, I don't believe it. There is no conceivable way that a human being on Earth, or in this case in an anime, can be that clumsy without some sort of supernatural curse. So I don't know, maybe by the end of this series we reveal that like Shikimori is like this goddess who is like powerful and super capable, but brings bad luck upon the person she falls in love with. Like, that'd be an interesting twist, though I highly doubt that's going to happen. But in general, I don't find it interesting. If you do, that's fantastic. I have no problem with you liking what you like. And leave a comment if you guys really like this show. I'd be really curious to know why you like this show. Granted, if you say that it's because you're simping over Izumi's mom or Shikimori, I might discredit your reasoning a little bit. But if you have a genuine reason why you like this show, I'm genuinely curious to know why. So leave a comment, please. Like, I kind of feel like I'm bashing this show, because I kind of am. Because I don't want you to think that I'm holding it to this unreasonably high standard, but like, when I start new shows, it's always easier in a season when I start 3 shows and they're all new to me. And I have no context, I have no threshold, I have no bar for them to clear. And in this case, in this season, both the shows that I picked that were new to me had to clear the bar of Love is War, Kaguya-sama Love is War, because I'm also watching that this season. And that is a very high bar for most shows to clear, in my opinion, because I love that show. And if I love that show and there's a show in this season that has to go up against it, God help you. But the other show that I'm watching this season, which is Spy X Family, cleared that bar with ease. And, well, you'll have to wait till tomorrow to see my thoughts on that show. And also, you'll have to wait till Friday to get my thoughts on Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 3, because, I'm not going to tell you what I think right now, but you might have a decent idea. But with that bar to clear, Shikimori not only didn't clear it, but like dug a hole underneath the bar and went even lower. The analogy is kind of falling apart at this point, but in general, I did my one video expressing my concerns. You can check it out. I already put a card up there earlier. You can check it out. But I just don't find it interesting because it doesn't feel like it's really investing in its characters or its stories. It just has a concept that it wants to run with, which is clumsy guy falls in love with badass girl, and then I guess they assume the story will write itself. Overall, I'm dropping this show. Maybe it'll be like a Halo TV series thing where I see something posted online that seems interesting enough for me to dive back into it, but as it stands right now, unless my theory comes true, which is that Shikimori is this overpowered goddess who's super powerful but brings bad luck to those she falls in love with, I don't think that this is going to improve. And it sucks because it does kind of feel like the trope of the hapless high school student basically having every girl, or in this case, the most badass girl, fall in love with him, even though he did nothing. And I mean, if I want to see that again, High School DxD did that with many girls and one character, hapless teenage boy, and they did it a lot better. Anyway, that's been it. Thank you so much for watching this shorter third episode thoughts video. I know it's a little rambly, but I've never had to do a follow-up that also happens to be a main video, so I kind of had to omit things that I did in the last video, but kind of try to implement new things in this video. Hopefully you guys understand. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe for anime, tech, gaming when I get a chance to do it, and all the other stuff. And apart from that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to be there and have a good one.